no law that anyone could write, certainly not this one, that's ever going to guarantee that a determined criminal won't be able to obtain a weapon one way or another, or that maybe even a mentally ill person may not be able to obtain a weapon eventually if they're sufficiently determined. But can't we take a very modest step to make it more difficult? If we can do it in a way that does not infringe on the Second Amendment rights of the law-abiding citizens.
That was Senator Pat Toomey, Republican from Pennsylvania, on the floor of the Senate yesterday, talking about a bipartisan, nominally bipartisan plan that he has with Senator Joe Manchin from West Virginia to expand background checks for criminals and dangerously mentally ill for gun purchases, and this is power play. And we are going to talk about that here, but first, and we're going to talk about it with Congressman Robert Pittenger from North Carolina. Welcome, Congressman.
Good afternoon.
Before we get to pending legislation in Congress, I want to talk to you first and get your response about what happened in Boston yesterday. I understand that you've been in touch with a constituent of yours who was at the scene.
Yes, sir. It's very sad. We chatted this morning. He was there at the marathon with his sister and his sister-in-law, and both of them, the sister and sister-in-law, have very serious injuries, perhaps the loss of limb of one of them. So it's a very sad moment, a very treacherous act.
All right, and I'm sure that you are looking forward to more information as it becomes available. Do you feel that you guys are being adequately kept in the loop on new developments?
Yes, I do. I think every investigation is being made, and I have confidence that we will pursue these treacherous people. We'll find out who they are, and we'll prosecute them.
Okay. All right. Now, moving on to the business still in front of Congress, we're seeing a lot of discussion and maybe some momentum, maybe not, in the Senate for this Manchin-Toomey gun law that would expand background checks, but we're hearing a lot of skepticism from your fellow Republicans in the House about it making its way through both chambers. What's your assessment?
Well, I, for one, would be for whatever would work and whatever would make a meaningful difference. I've never been one to beat my chest and say, look what I'm doing, and try to grandstand. And I don't question the sincerity of those who are pushing the legislation right now, but I'm not certain that it will have the meaningful effect that we would wish it would have. We have serious issues in the country that are far deeper. We have mental health issues. I've worked with sheriffs in my district to work with them to try to figure out how we could make available to them mental health information without affecting privacy. We can't allow these types of weapons to get in the hands of those who have mental health issues. We have a terrible problem in this country with violence. We all know that. Yet I wish the President would speak as harshly about violence in the media as he has about those who advance Second Amendment rights. These are serious, underlying, pervasive concerns that impact what's happening in our country. We can outlaw all the guns in the world, we can do the background checks, but right now we've got about 77,000 violations that aren't even being prosecuted. What do you do as well with people unstable people who grab a knife like they did in Texas? How's this legislation going to help that? That's what I'm saying. The prevailing underlying currents of mental health and violence are issues that I don't think we can avoid. I think it's pretty disingenuous to believe that we can pass a bill right now and we're going to have a long-term effect on addressing this problem.
And Congressman, before we let you go, I want to ask you about United Solution. This is something that was new to me, a bipartisan group looking for what is described as fiscal sanity. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, sir. Well, this emerged out of the many conferences we had as freshmen. My colleague in the House, who is a freshman, Patrick Murphy, and I co-chair this, and we looked for ways that we could find common ground to work together. We wrote a letter, had 36 of our freshman colleagues, bipartisan, sign a letter to the President and to the congressional leadership imploring them to address the debt. The debt is the biggest economic challenge that we have. It's enormous weight in terms of our country and our future generations, and we've got to address it. And we've got to look toward what we can do in entitlements and Medicare to try to address that debt and other cost-saving opportunities. So these are the kind of things we've advanced, and I'm very proud of working together in a very cooperative way with my Democrat colleagues in the House.
Like they say, Congressman, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. All right. Well, we thank you very much for your time. Have a good day.
Thank you. God bless you.
God bless you.